Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video, I wanted to create an eyeshadow look using a throwback eyeshadow palette, a palette that has been out for X amount of time. It's been out for a while, something that most of us probably have in our collection. Now don't worry if you don't have this exact palette, you should still be able to create the look using eyeshadows that you currently own. I asked you guys on all my social media outlets, which if you're not sure what those are, I asked on the YouTube community page, which should show up in your subscription list when you look at your subscriptions, the question. I also asked on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and all of the links for my social media outlets are in the description box. But anyways, I had asked and I got a good response, and so I chose a palette based on your requests. I like to come up with my own video ideas, but I also like to fulfill things that you guys request me to do. So today we are going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. I'm kind of going for a very springy look. I've been into color lately, and so I thought this palette has some good neutrals in it, but it also has some pops of color that we can play with as well. YouTube is saturated with neutral eye looks, and there is a place for it. I am a neutral eyeshadow loving person. However, sometimes it's fun to create some color, to step out of our box a little bit, and so we are going to incorporate a little bit of color into this look, but also keep it very wearable for daytime. And so let's get into this. So I've already done my face because I really just wanted this to be a chit-chat time. It's just another beautiful morning here, and I wanted to just sit down and chat with you guys while I did my makeup. The foundation that I'm currently wearing is in testing mode. There will be a review coming up on it shortly. I like to give my foundation a good few weeks of wear time. Now this particular foundation that I'm wearing I have had in the past. And so I kind of know how it works. But I repurchased it. I'd never done a review on it. But I repurchased it because I remember certain things about it and I wanted to give it another trial run. And so that's what I'm doing, and so stay tuned for the review. Oh, it is drugstore too, by the way. Using the Milani eyeshadow primer. You guys, yesterday I wore this eyeshadow primer. I had my shadow on for, well, I wore my makeup for 10 hours. No creasing, no budging, no fading. This is a really good eyeshadow primer. Oh, I love how this palette smells. It smells like an artificial sweet candy smell, but it's just really yummy. So I always set my eyeshadow primer with a skin tone, flesh tone shadow. So I'm just going to go in with this matte cream shadow. And I just take a fluffy brush and literally just set that primer. So if you're interested in what is on my face, I'll leave it in the description box, but I'll also tell you. So I can remember, I'm wearing NARS Matahari blush, which it's a matte orchid pink, which I think an orchid pink, it has those cool undertones, borderline berry. Anything that has like a berry undertone is really going to mimic a natural flush to your cheeks, and it's very fresh. My highlighter is Bobbi Brown Pink Glow, which is another wonderful glowy from within highlighter. If you're wondering what I'm using, this thing is genius. I love this. It's the Sephora Color Switch, Vera Mona Color Switch. It's awesome. It's a great way to clean your brushes in between shadows, or if you haven't cleaned your brushes in a while, it just gets all the extra product off. Like if you can then switch colors. Like say you're using dark blue, now you can use yellow. So I'm going to go in with the Wayne Goss No. 3 Fluffy Brush. I love my Wayne Goss brushes. I just think they're wonderful, wonderful. And I'm going to just start carving out my crease and create a little bit of a shadow here. I'm going to go in, actually, I like to build, okay? So you're going to see me use several colors in a palette, but I really like to build my shadows and create a nice gradient. I just find for me and my abilities and where I'm at with my eyeshadow blending, I flourish best when I build easily from lightest to darkest. So we're going to go in with this cashew color, very barely there cream shade. It literally is going to be a barely there shadow color, but for me it helps create a guide. And if there's any piece of advice I can give you, coming from someone completely self-taught when it comes to makeup, is build your shadows slowly, take your time, and blend. And if you need to start and do it like I'm doing to build, that's really okay. But as you can see, it actually still offers a good wash of color. These Wayne Goss brushes are wonderful. I really like how they apply the color but blend it out at the same time. you can really make mistakes using these brushes because the bristles are natural haired. Disperses the color a little softer than a synthetic, more dense brush would. They're just a lot fluffier, and I find them very forgiving and beginner friendly. Also, if you have crepey or older eyelids where you have extra skin to work with, this is so soft that it can just kind of glide over the lumps and bumps. And I can say that because I'm already starting to get crepiness going on here, and so I know where I'm headed. But having the right tools at your disposal when it comes to applying makeup, I've also found to be really key. Just educate yourself on your eyes. Like, I have very deep set eyes, and they're also very close together. So with this type of eye, it's very important for me to, number one, keep my dark colors towards the outside here, because what that's going to do is it's going to lift your eyes and kind of give the illusion that they're being pulled further apart. Now, an ideal, like, I was looking at this, like an ideal eye distance, or what I guess is really flattering to the eye naturally, is when you have eyes that are equal distance apart, meaning you could fit one of them in between here. If you can see mine, I could never do that. Mine are very close together. Also, when they're deep set, if I put really dark colors all over my lid, it pushes my eye back further, like gives the illusion of it being pressed further back into my head, and it makes me look like I have a black eye. I also cannot do dark shadow on the inner part right here because it gives the illusion that I have one eye. It's really creepy looking. I did an eye look one time on my channel because, you know, everyone, I never heard of an halo eye, and then a few years back everyone was doing a halo eye, and I'm like, I want to try it. No. If you have my type of eyes, you cannot do a halo eye unless you want to look like the monster from Monsters, Inc. Okay, now I'm just going to use that same brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of the Divinity up here and just kind of concentrate it on my brow bone. I'm probably going to go back in and do a little stronger of a brow bone highlight, but for now I'm just going to keep it matte. I really like how clean, like an all matte eye look, I think looks so clean. And when I think of spring, I think of a fresh, clean look. This is the number 4. Now, I'm telling you the numbers of these just because if you have his original brush set, that's how the numbers correspond. Now, since then, he has released and redone his eye brushes, so the numbers are a little different. I don't have any of his newer ones. I would like to eventually get some. I'm going to go in with this Almond Truffle up here. It's like a grayish, really muted grayish mauve tone. And here's my trick when it comes to a cool toned eye. I always incorporate a warm crease. That way, it's not so muddy and gray looking. Because when you layer cool upon cool upon cool, it can start to look very muddy, not a lot of dimension. So I always take either my bronzer and use that as my warm transition crease shade, or when I'm completely done with the eye look, I'll take like a light like a MAC Soft Brown or a Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie, just a really light matte shade, and run it right through the crease over the top of everything, blending it out, and it immediately just picks up the entire eye look. So if you guys enjoyed this today, let me know, and maybe every week we'll do a throwback palette look. I kind of wanted to do that anyways, but I'm kind of testing the waters to see if there's an interest out there for that. Here's my thing. We can't all buy the latest and greatest every week, you know? And all of us, I'm sure, every single one of us has a palette that's been out for a while. I mean, if you're watching YouTube, you know what the makeup is, you know what's available, and you probably already own, you know, an older palette. So I thought, you know, let's encourage each other to dig out what we already have. We'll sit down and chat together and create an eye look. You let me know, thumbs up this video, and let me know in the comments what palette you would like me to use next. Just full of tricks today. But honestly, this is not coming from a person who's been in the business and doing this for years. This is coming from a person who's straight up made this mistake, which is why I'm telling you what I've learned. So I've also learned when doing your eyes, like I look down so that I can really get into my creases because I have very deep set eyes. A small brush is also key as well, so you can really get in there to blend. But I've also learned to stop and step back, or like hold a mirror so you're looking straight on, because when people look at you, they look at you like this. When I'm looking at myself, I'm looking down and it looks different. So to make sure that your eyes are even, like the color distribution is even on both, look straight and then just kind of perfect what you need to perfect. Okay, I wasn't trying to make this video so like informative, but I guess, you know, passing along tips and tricks that I've learned is helpful too. Now I'm going to go into this cotton candy pink shade right here. Really pretty. This color isn't like super bright. Like you can sheer it out to be, as you can see, just like a wash of pink. I think a light pink can be, especially when it's brighter like this. Now if it's a really muddy pink, it could make you look tired. But this one's very bright, very cool toned, almost like a frosty element to it. So it kind of lifts the eye versus dragging it down or kind of blending in. I have lash glue from yesterday all over my eyes. It's so hard for me to get lash glue off, and I know I use way too much, but my eyelashes always like to fall off. And there's nothing more annoying or embarrassing to be out in public and have your lash just like flapping in the wind. I swear people are, they're not even looking at you. All they're doing is staring at that lash, wondering at what moment it is just going to go flying. I drank the most disgusting smoothie of my life this morning. I followed like this super green healthy recipe because I was like, I'm going to be fancy pants and I'm going to be proud of myself for making a really green smoothie. Oh my word, I literally gagged choking it down because I didn't want to waste like the $15 worth of fancy ingredients that I bought. Never again. You know, so it's like I'm eating humble pie now. I'm going back to what I know tastes good. May not necessarily be the healthiest, but no way. Alright, now I'm going to dig into this hot pink color because why not? And then I'm taking this really dirty brush. I need to wash my brushes. I'm just totally procrastinating. 217 by MAC looks like this. Probably not the best brush for what I'm about to do, but I don't always get my brush right. You know, my brush choice, right? So sometimes I'll start using a brush and I'm like, that's not what I want, and I'll reach for something else. But this color too can also be applied and sheared out. So it's not such a scary color when you shear it out. A lot of people are afraid of colors. They just simply don't know where to put it or what to do with it. And of course that's trial and error, you know, but you know, Pinterest is a great place to get inspiration, or of course YouTube videos and whatever. Pinterest is just a little more accessible when it comes to just looking at a picture. If I look at a picture of someone's eye look, I can recreate it just kind of by looking at it, or at least a similar version of it, or even just take inspiration from it. This brush is literally scratching me. What is the deal? So I gotta tell you, I have not done a hot pink eyeshadow look probably ever on my channel, but this might turn out to be kind of fun. No, I'm going to go in and deepen my outer V just a little bit. This scares me every single time, but we're gonna go slow. That's another thing I've learned with dark colors. Go slow, and instead of like really loading up your brush with product, just start with a little bit. It'll take longer, yes, but if you apply and blend, I promise you the dark color will blend out so much better than going in with a ton of product and then trying to blend. So I think I want to deepen this up with, I'm tempted to do dark truffle, but I also kind of want to do this black currant color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix. I do that a lot too. I'm going to take this darker color right here, dark truffle, and then I'm going to mix it with black currant. I also like to tap the color like this. And what's going to happen now is we're going to lose a little bit of that hot pink color. I'm just going to go back in after I do this, and I will brighten it back up. I always do that, but I feel like a good eyeshadow look, it does take a bit of layering. It doesn't just pull together with the first application all the time. And of course that depends on the type of eyeshadow you're using. Is it pigmented? Does it blend away to nothing? I forgot to tell you, this is a Wayne Goss number 5. Really small brush, works really well to get into those little creases. So now we're going to bring a little bit of the shadow down to my lower lash line. I typically like to do, or I should say I always do, whatever I do on my top is what I do on my bottom. So I'm going to grab just a little tiny liner brush. This is a number 1, nope, number 7. Anything that can really get into the lash line. And I'm going to dip into the dark truffle and the black currant, the colors we just mixed out here. And I'm going to carry it around and really smush it in to my lower lash line. Now, I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm actually going to only go 1/3 of the way in. I'm also going to take those same colors and just kind of smush it into my upper lash line here a little bit with shadow. Just a little. Well, hello, baby. You haven't made an appearance for a minute. Where you been? She's like, Ma, you got the windows open. I'm loving the fresh air and all the birds. It's wonderful. Now I'm going to take my favorite lower lash brush. This is a Chikuhodo T-7, I believe it's called. And we're going to dip into a little bit of Totally Fetch, which is that hot pink color. What does Totally Fetch even mean? Like totally cool? Like totally awesome? I don't know. And then I'm just going to blend it into the pink, so it kind of ombres a little bit, like purple to pink. And then this light lid shade, which is called Cotton Candy, that light pink, I'm going to take that right down here. I'm going to layer just a little bit of sprinkles. Sprinkle a little sprinkle on top of my upper lash line because it's like even lighter of a pink. Who doesn't like a little bit of sprinkles on their cupcake? Then I'm going to take a little bit of Satin Sheets, this big one right here, and pop it in my inner corner. And now it is time for some liner. I'm going to do some liquid eyeliner, black liquid eyeliner, on my upper lash line. I am not going to do a wing, just a nice thin line to define my eyes. I'm going to use the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. Now I will be silent until this is finished. Wow, that is a miracle how perfect that was the first time. That never happens. But you can see how just a little bit of black eyeliner, real thin, especially when you focus like a little bit more thickness on the outside, how it like lifts your eye without even having mascara or false lashes or anything on. Alright, I'm going to let that liquid liner dry. I learned from my mistake yesterday. I was trying to rush it and I went in with my mascara too soon and I got liquid eyeliner everywhere. So we're going to do a lip while we're waiting. This is the Dior Airy Mauve Lip Liner. Just a very nice, cool toned pink lip liner. I like the Dior lip liners. They really stay on. They have, I almost said she. Is it even a she? I think it's a he. Nice colors. I think lip liners are one of those things where it just accessorizes the lips and completes the look. I mean, you could have on a tinted lip balm, for goodness sake, and then outline your lips and your lips just look sculpted. Elsie, you were running around like a mad woman. What are you doing? Huh? Flicking your paws everywhere. Oh yeah, just get that K layer on my bed. Yeah, I love it. And if you thought I was going to do anything other than a pink lip, you were mistaken. I dug deep in my lipstick collection and I dug out this Shiseido lip color number RS347. I remember years ago, now it was not this particular shade, but Melissa Autry wore a cool toned pink lipstick from Shiseido. This, the Perfect Rouge line. It was a different color, but I ended up buying this color and I love it. It's still just as creamy as the first day that I bought it. And I've had this lipstick for probably, goodness, 4 years? No. I think longer. It's still just as good. Time for some mascara. I'm going to apply some Chanel Volume Mascara to my lashes. I think one of the best tools when it comes to makeup application, makeup blending, cleaning up, Q-tips. Cotton swab, whatever this is called, I use them every single time. Now this is good enough. This mascara, the Chanel Volume, I feel pretty with this mascara on. I think it's great, but because I want to be a little extra because I'm feeling kind of glam, I'm going to put on a very natural lash just to give me a little bit more length. When I do dark colors like this, I feel like the length just makes you just a little bit more, just a little bit extra pretty. These are the Kiss lashes in number 2, all natural. They kind of flare out a bit on the ends and then taper in. They work really well for my eye shape, and so I'm going to quickly apply these. That's a relative word, especially when it comes to eyeshadow application. I'm going to very slowly and tediously apply these lashes, holding my breath, trying not to freak out and mess up my eyeshadow and eyeliner. That's the real truth. I just say quickly because usually I just cut this off and then we come back, voila, I'm done. The reality is it's about 15 minutes, so So here's the final look. I actually think it turned out to be a very wearable pink and purple eyeshadow look, which I know typically pinks and purples are not an everyday type of thing, but by golly, there's no reason that it can't be, you know, just really, like I said, it's in the application. Maybe a dust the color. Maybe don't bring in the bright pink if that scares you, quite frankly, but I keep looking in the monitor thinking, I really like this. I'm really pleased. I've always been a fan of the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. Quite frankly, up to this point, I basically stuck with all the neutrals in here. I didn't play a lot with that hot pink color. I love the cooler mauve tones in some of these matte shades in here, but it's a very wearable palette, and if you like these colors, or maybe this scares you, try it. I think you would enjoy, you know, just play around with color, you know, and really learning eyeshadow is just about playing with it. Maybe get out of your comfort zone a little bit and try something new. If you guys enjoyed yourself today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what eyeshadow palette you would like me to do next, because I think I'm going to do this every week. Why not? This is fun. We all have these eyeshadow palettes. Let's dig them out and use them together. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. I would love to have you here. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fabulous day. Bye, guys.